Jab. 1, 2. That right hand. Double jab right hand. Some kick on that right hand, mate. Jab. Give me left jab, left hook. Again. Finish with the right hand. Finish with a hook. Good work. Jab. Jab. 1, 2. 4 straight shots. Jab. Body shot. Straight shot. 2 shots. Finish with a hook. 1.
My name is Heavy D, and this is
Big D,
and this is the Double D podcast in association with Pep Talk UK. Right, let's start. Let's get into it. There's been a few things going on this week, right, in the world of boxing. First of all, we've had. First of all, let me just introduce our guest. We've got a guest there, right? Yeah, a very controversial guest, right? Yeah, all right. Everyone in the boxing world knows him, love him or hate him. We've got Prince Patel right here, and in the days, and we're going to be talking about you a bit later. But first of all, let's start talking about the boxing events. What's been happening? It's been a busy week in boxing. We've had the Dillian Whyte fight. We've had the Manny Pacquiao fight, and we've had the David Price, David Allen. But I think we should first start with the Manny Pacquiao, right? Now, a lot of people have been saying this for a long time now, that Manny Pacquiao has been taking PEDs, right? And he's 40 years old, and he doesn't look, the way he's performing, it's like he's a 21-year-old. Now, Mayweather's come out of it blatantly, and he said that he won't fight him because he unless he does the testing, the VADA testing, and Manny Pacquiao wouldn't do it, right? And a lot of people said that he's guilty for that, for refusing the test. If he's got nothing to hide, why is he refusing the test? And that went on for a long time, right? Yeah. You've had Paulie Malignaggi come out openly and said about he's got on PEDs stuff, and a lot of people have been saying it, alright? But a lot of Manny Pacquiao fans, they don't want to hear it. To them, he's like a god. Manny Pacquiao, no, I don't want to hear it. He can't be on PEDs. No way. He's a legend, 8-weight world champion, all this sort of stuff, and 5-time millennial champion, all this stuff. They don't want to hear it. They think he's the greatest of all time. But a lot of boxing pundits will not put him in the top 10 boxing Hall of Fame for that reason, because they know he's a cheat. Alright? And it's the worst kept secret in boxing. Manny Pacquiao has been on PEDs for quite a while now. Alright? So let's cut to the chase. How do you feel about this Manny Pacquiao situation?
I kind of echo what you're saying. You know, Floyd said it best. You know, if this guy doesn't want to take the VADA testing, he's not interested in fighting him. They made the fight happen. It was spectacular. Floyd gave him a boxing lesson, and I think he done really well. Since then, I've actually watched Manny live when he fought Broner in Las Vegas. Me, Dylan, the team was down there, and he boxed well. Broner boxed well as well, because when you look at the contrast of, there was, Broner had a bit of success against him, and I think done a little bit better than Furman did in this particular fight. He left the ring with his face more intact than Furman, maybe I'll say that. But do you know what? He boxed really, really well. I'm not gonna lie, I got that one wrong, I guess. I thought the younger, the fresher, the younger guy, obviously the experience told him the night, but Manny fought like a young man, like a man possessed, moving around, darting in and out. And, it's kind of strange. I just did a few little rounds in there on the pads, and you can see I'm drenched. We're the same age, probably. I think I'm a little bit older than Manny. I'm like 41, so obviously I'm a heavyweight, so it might be different. But we're the same age. Recovery. Obviously, he's a well-rounded fighter, pedigree. He's been doing it for a long time, so maybe that's different. But I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, you can't beat Father Time and youth. So I thought Furman would have been stronger, bigger, and just more fitter. In that case, he showed. But listen, I don't know what the man's putting in his system, because he hasn't been found guilty of anything. So on that note, we've got to assume him innocent, but sometimes there's no smoke without fire. You know what I mean?
Alright, also there's another thing as well. Circumstantial evidence. You had the fight he just had with Furman. They didn't have no VADA test until 3 weeks before the fight. I mean, that's a bit iffy. A world title fight, and there's 3 weeks before the fight, there's no testing up until that point. I mean, why would that? That's really odd. That's the time when he cycles over. I don't know. Why is it at that specific time that they're bringing the VADA testing? Why not start from the start of the training camp straight the way through, like every other world title fight?
Yeah, I agree.
It's suspicious.
Where does he train? He trains in the Philippines. They probably can't find him out there. And if they do get to the airport, he's probably notified when they actually arrive.
Yeah.
Any suspicious things arrive in the airport. But listen, who knows? Listen, to be honest, the sport in a whole, I think, is filled with controversy and things that happen.
Do you think there's a lot of that going on in the
There's a
sport?
lot of people. Like at the top, what you got to understand is at the top, there are guys that have been done for many different things. Sometimes, you know, these guys like Canelo got the contaminated meat and so on, and you know there's a lot of this. Sometimes it might not be these people's fault, it's sometimes where you are or there's an agenda, because when there's big...
Do you believe that contaminated meat?
Listen, I don't know. What it is in Mexico, that is something that is proven that they give clenbuterol to the animals to produce leaner beef. And I'm sure that's because you know a lot of these products are, you know, genetically modified, so they're pumped with water, they're pumped with steroids, they're pumped with antibiotics. So I wouldn't put it past it. I don't know, but what I do know is when I look at Canelo, he is an absolute beast, and how he goes on and puts on that kind of muscle and comes down and does what he does, only God knows. You know what I mean?
I think Billy Joe Saunders still beats him.
Billy Joe Saunders is an animal. He's actually got very, very good boxing brain, moves tremendous, 2-time world champion. And I mean, I think it is a hard fight. He's going to have to keep moving all night, but imagine those Canelos left to the bodies and head, and
he's got to catch him first.
He does got to catch him, but then, listen, trust me, he gave Jacobs a real hard fight. And like you said, styles makes fights. Billy Joe Southpaw has definitely got the attributes to win. I wouldn't, it'd be hard to tell on that one, you know, but you'd favour I'd favour Canelo just a little bit.
Billy Joe Saunders is a better boxer though.
Yeah, I could agree with that, man. I could agree with that, but I still would favour Canelo just a little bit. But I wouldn't be surprised if Billy Joe Saunders won. I just wouldn't. His skill set is ridiculous.
How do you feel?
I think Canelo wins, but Billy Joe's 2-weight world champion.
Yeah,
so
for a reason.
Yeah, for a reason.
Yeah.
I think Canelo's just a little bit more
seasoned, more experience. And he's just a beast, bro. You gotta give the young man credit as well. But you gotta give all of these boys who go in the ring and do it, you gotta give them credit. Listen, the sport is a hard sport. As much as we sit out here, I do a lot of interviews and talking. I like to give all of these boys credit because they're going in, they're stepping that way and putting it on the line and boxing. As much as one can say, I can commentate and say, you should have done, he should have done. If you was in there, you know, what would you do? You're not in there, so we've got to give credit to the guys that are in there. It is opinionated sport, so people got to be appreciative that sometimes it's just my opinion, your opinion.
Everyone's got different opinions.
And you just got silly sops who just say anything and they don't care about people's opinion. But listen, this is the sport we're in, and it's a great sport, and that's why it's divided, because you can never tell. We went in there looking at the Andy Ruiz and Joshua fight as a foregone conclusion somewhat. I didn't do it myself so much. I knew the pedigree of Ruiz, but I mean, I still thought Joshua would pull through and win. So anything can happen in boxing. So if Billy Joe went in there and put on a boxing masterclass, as I know he can do, he has the potential to win. But because Canelo has done it on so much occasion, he's like the richest earning fighter now of this year so far, and him and Joshua are the two biggest athletes in boxing.
So what you're saying is that Canelo's more proven.
On the proven. You've got to remember, they're gonna have to go to Vegas and fight. He's gonna have to fight in his backyard. He's gonna fight.
Canelo's fought the better fighters. He's beaten the more world champions than Billy Joe. He's won more world titles in different weights than Billy Joe.
The thing is, right, Billy Joe Saunders is well known for winning on points, and if he's going to go to Las Vegas to beat Canelo, it's going to be on points. I would say
they're not going to give.
They're not going to give it. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. The only way they're going to give the chance he's got against Canelo is knocking him out, because you're never ever going to get a decision against Canelo or Wilder for that matter in Vegas. Forget about it. Seriously, you're not. It's America, man. Them judges are corrupt, man.
Get it.
What?
He's not going to get no decision.
You're not going to, especially Canelo. Canelo of all people, come on, you know what I mean? You know what them judges are like.
He's one of the biggest superstars in boxing.
It's the biggest.
He probably is actually, as he said. He's made the most of this.
But they, you know what? They're going to protect him, and they're going to. Oscar De La Hoya is going to. He's going to buy the judges. He's going to do that. It's very corrupt in Vegas.
It's corrupt in boxing. Don't worry about just Vegas, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so then you got that one. Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about upsets. We had the Dave Allen, all right, Price. I was there. You remember we was there when
I don't think that was an upset though.
It looked like a mismatch.
Nah,
it did look it looked like a mismatch. Oh yeah, after the first round.
Price was too big, or
He was too big. He was too rangy. He couldn't even get near him. Honestly, everyone's talking about. Even the bookies are all going about Dave Allen's going to do this, he's going to do that, and this is he's younger and hungrier. It was all a load of bollocks. Because I saw Price. He went big win, big KO. That's what he said. That's what he said. And then he did. He got a big win. He got a big KO. You know what I mean? The thing about it is, when he was fighting, you thought this don't look right. He wasn't even getting near him. It was a really poor. I don't know if it was a poor showing or Price was really good.
Do you know? Sorry to interject.
Yeah, that's all right.
What I actually said on numerous occasions that I thought Allen would win because he was on the better run of form first, because he beat Lucas Brown with a good body shot, and he had a few other decent wins before. Pricey, the Cash Ali situation was a bit suspect. He was slowing down in that fight. Some would say maybe it was later on, it might have been a turning point. Cash Ali was starting to come into it somewhat, and then he won against who's the other one?
Tom Little.
He beat Tom Little. So, on that note, but then I said, it would be good for his mental strength, his confidence, if he got to see the 10 or the 12 rounds, whatever he's doing. Because I like David Price. He's a good guy. I think what he needs more of is a killer instinct. He doesn't have that killer instinct, like when he got the man hurt, to go through the gears and show that vicious streak to get them out of there. As he saw in the Povetkin fight, when he had him hurt, he stepped off. The real animals in this game would have came forward. Even though they wouldn't come, all of them wouldn't come with this reckless disbandment, but they would have came forward, touched him up, and just kind of went to work a little bit. Do you get what I mean? He stepped off and let him somewhat kind of let the referee go towards him and let him regroup. He should have went in there with all of his might and teed off and seen what happened. And that's just the killer instinct he was lacking. But I think he's got the attributes to have done what he did Saturday night if the confidence was in him, and he managed to do it. Excellent. I spoke to his boys in the gym and I said, listen, if he could get behind his jab, keep the distance, when he gets hold him and box his head off. And he went and done it. Congratulations to him, because like I said, I can't say it enough, he's a lovely guy. And I think he deserves it, because he can kind of probably beat anyone with his pedigree.
What do you think's next for him, man?
Do you know what? I think they need to continue giving him those kind of learning fights, because it's about confidence, this game. If your confidence and your mental stability is weak, it's just not going to work for you. You go in there, he's had some horrendous knockouts and losses. So for him, I think he needs to get that confidence. He's on a high. You saw what he did. He's like, you guys can kiss these nuts. You know what I'm saying? No, did you see at the end of the fight what he was doing? Like,
oh yeah, he done that. Yeah.
What I mean is, the confidence is oozing now.
That's how you would do.
So the confidence is oozing now. So what he needs to do now is basically get another solid win like that. I know I heard him calling that Tyson Fury. That's the absolute wrong man. I understand it's a big payday, but that's just the absolute wrong man. That guy's he's just a boxing genius. He's a big guy, and you need a little bit more than that to kind of beat him. If you sit at the end of a jab with that kid, you're going to come unstuck.
They've had a long-time rival, don't they?
I understand, but I think he just needs to, get a couple more KOs, pick the right fights to his team, and just whatever they choose. I'm happy for him.
See, the thing about it, this is what I was thinking about the other day. Most of the boxers now are all 6'7" plus.
They're giants.
They're all giants, right? Yeah, all giant, big, massive, long reaches. They're all, They're all of them, right? Yeah. The days of the Mike Tyson, the short guys, and all that sort of stuff. Them days are over. We're never going to see another Mike Tyson again. That's the truth of it, right? Yeah. Most of the boxers now, the blueprint now for the boxers are big, tall giants. 6'9" is average. I mean, that's how it is. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, and David Allen is a bit of a throwback fighter. He's a short guy in this thing. But as I'm saying, he's not in this day and age. It's not a fighter like that is not going to be able to. He's done well for so far. But coming up against a big typecast fighter, and he came a cropper.
Yeah, definitely.
So talking about the events, there was a guy who died in the ring. Very sad news. It just highlights that boxing is not a game, and people do that's why I don't begrudge anyone how much they get paid to get in the ring and stuff, because at the end of the day people can lose their lives in there. And the thing about it is, I just want to say Heart goes out to the guy who died and his family and stuff. 11th round. What was his name again?
Max.
Max.
Yeah.
His trainer was telling him to stop.
Buddy
McGirt was saying to him to stop the fight. Don't fight no more. And he went against his trainer. And this is what happens sometimes. This is what happens, you know. And you know, it just goes to show.
You know, the darker side of the sport. Yeah. That's why these guys deserve every penny they get when they step in the ring. And going back to what we were saying, you know, it's a hard sport. You know, and you just don't play boxing. You know.
Yeah.
So condolences to him and his family.
Deepest condolences to him and his family. Yeah, it's a tough sport. It was an IBF world title eliminator, if I'm correct. And obviously, when people say that they're willing to put it all on the line, he literally did.
Literally did, yeah. And it cost him his life.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's so. This is the sad part of boxing, you know, and stuff. And you know, I mean, you know, it's sometimes it's Russian roulette going to ring. You know, you just don't know if you're gonna, you know. I mean, you know, you have now talk about like some countries don't have even oxygen close by the ringside and stuff, and people get knocked out and they just leave them there and all that sort of stuff, and there ain't enough. So we don't like to see that, people dying and brain damage and all that sort of stuff, you know. But anyway, that's that. So now we're moving on to something totally different. Prince.
Yo.
So I'm going to fill in the audience. If they don't know, I'm sure you do know who Prince Patel is. Love him or hate him, the boxer will know who this man is. Let's start it all off. You got into, from your early on in your career, you got into a bit of controversy.
Yeah.
With Barry Jones.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah. With him.
You were in a bit controversy with Barry Jones, and then since then you've been like, you know, people have been trying to like knock you down. People have been like haters or whatever and stuff. And think about it, you know, it's the same thing we was talking about. It takes a lot of guts, and to anyone who gets that ring deserves respect, you know. And then you had the fight. You've had the world IBL world title fight. Now this is what's puzzled me, right? Yeah, the IBL world title fight. They don't do no VADA testing, no?
No, there was no testing.
There's no testing.
There was no testing.
Do you think there's a possibility? Because obviously, just to fill everyone in, you had the fight 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You lost that fight.
On points.
You lost that fight on points. What happened?
Just didn't perform. I don't want to like say like he was on gear or anything. I just want to say I lost to the best man on the night. Any other given night, I feel I could have won if I was bringing in my performances that I was doing in the gym, inspiring against other world ranked fighters. I would have, even if I brought 10% of that into the ring, I would have beaten. But something went wrong that night, and I'm working on fixing it. What
do you think? Because you know what, honestly, it can happen to anyone.
It can happen to anyone.
Do you think you got stage fright?
I don't know, like sometimes...
Because it can happen to the best of us.
You can go to the gym, for example, like Dean looks like he hits weights. Sometimes he might go hit the bench and he won't hit what he normally hits in the bench.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have off nights in the gym.
Yeah.
I feel that's what probably happened to me on the night.
So what are you trying to say? But the thing is, it was a big stage. Let's not make it back. It was a massive stage. Yeah. It was shown all around the world. Yeah. First time Saudi Arabia had shown boxing of this magnitude, and it was a massive stage. And you had a lot of things controversial, a lot of things leading up to that. You had the spat with Kugan Cassius. You had all these people like, you know, says you're gonna cave your head in, and you all these things. People waiting for you to fail, and this and that, added with the pressure of the big stage. I'm telling you, it could do funny things to people.
And now you failed.
Wow, man, that hurt, man. You just dropped that.
I had to do that because it's show business. Patel, that's what you got to say.
Yeah, man. It happens, man. But I'm gonna rebuild, just like I built myself to world level. I'm gonna rebuild, and I'm gonna come back.
I think you've done it, man. Because you've done it under the radar as well. Like you just come through and done it. Yeah. But you know what they say? Sometimes, you know, a loss doesn't define you. It's how you come back.
Yeah.
So you know, you look well. You look like you haven't taken any punishment. That's a great thing. And like you said, back in the gym, you can go in there. You're assessing what's going on. Just question. Sorry, I know I hurt your feelings, but I know you can take it. Look, you got a nice smile. You're buzzing. You're up for it. How many capacity was in that fight?
I think it was 14,000.
Oh, that's decent.
That's a big growth.
I think it was 14. It was right. It was a big stage. It was obviously Amir Khan fighting. He was supposed to fight for the Patel belt, but he fought for the WBC International. Okay. There was another big fight with an unbeaten Filipino against a South African. The Filipino's dad was a former 2-weight world champion. It was a big show, and obviously my fight was there, and just gutted I didn't bring back the world title to England.
Man, do you know what? I mean, how many people get it the first time, man? It took Bruno like 4 times to get it. Do you know what I mean?
But, you know, what you've got to appreciate as well, that he's actually got a world title shot.
Yeah, that's it.
There's people that don't even get an opportunity
get
in their whole career to fight for their first world title shot.
Yeah.
So, you know, congratulations to you on that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I had to build myself as a fighter, and I had to get fights.
Get it all off your own back.
Yeah. Obviously, Dean does that with his fighters, but people do lose. Obviously, I didn't want to lose. Dillian lost. Now look at Dillian. His name's massive.
Exactly. You come back stronger.
Beating people.
Yeah.
He's beating really good people. Looking at his record and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Dillian can win a world title one day.
Do you know what? Do you know what? My personal opinion is sometimes a loss can be the best thing for a fighter. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you turn that negative into a positive. It can be the best thing for you. It can make you know what. It shows you that you know what. You know, it's just you rebuild, but you come back so much stronger. You know exactly what you need to work on. You know exactly what you need, what the work required is at that level, and that's that. You know, and that's what it seems like. I know you're going to come back stronger. Do you know what I mean? You know you come back stronger and stuff. And sometimes, you know, undefeated tag. There's too much.
Yeah,
there's too much emphasis.
Exactly. I'll echo that. I think there is a bit too much emphasis on being undefeated. Mayweather's made that error.
Yeah.
Even for example, sorry to change, in my brother's fight recently, obviously he went down, you know, people made a thing of that. But you know what, we got to appreciate, when you're going back to George Foreman, Fraser, Ali, all these guys, Time and Tyson, a lot of the guys, heavyweights, went down and got up and won. Yeah. And that was part of the experience building, dealing with adversity. You know, this era here is all hung up about my old, not being the, undefeated, being the greatest and this and that, having to be strong. But what you got to appreciate is all of these, being smart and being strong is being smart enough to know when to take a knee in the fight. That shows what kind of warrior Dillian is. You know, if he's able to go down in a fight, so obviously he may have been hurt, to get up and still win the fight. That shows world class. I think it's just a lot of the guys, you know, being able to know when to hold, you know, to get your breaks in there and just be smart. The older fighters, you know, they done longer rounds. One time 15 rounds. They went down, they got up. You know, many times some of them went down, and then later on in the fight they'd get the knockout. You know, but and that was testament to true grit and determination and experience. So nowadays we've got people who want to be too much warriors and don't gain the right experience. I think in this one now, in instance for yourself, you lost. I think you'll probably come back a lot more hungry, because going back and assessing the tape and looking and saying, well, this is where I went wrong. Maybe the occasion got to me, but you know, I've been there now. There was actually nothing to it. There was nothing to be concerned about. But sometimes it can happen to the best of you, you know. So, and it has happened to a lot of people. The occasion got to them, and you know, they've come up second best on the night. And like you said, they've come on and they've built, and they're even better than they probably would have been. You know what I mean? Because of that experience. So, you know, I hope you come back well in the future.
Come back stronger. So listen, man, I've got to ask this question, man. I've got to ask, now everyone wants to know this question, right? Yeah? What the fuck happened between you and Kugan, Cassius, man? Come on, when did it all start? Because all I've just seen is the videos of him saying that he wants to cave your head in and stuff. And you know what? I have to go there, man. I have to go there. And I just want to know, how did it all start?
It's just a bit of banter, man. A bit of banter. Saying a couple of stuff to one another, joking around and stuff. And then, he just was joking around. Yeah. Obviously, if that was real, we know what would happen. Let's not beat around the bush.
I explained to you, Kugan right here is a viral thing, and Kugan said
I actually saw that, but I was more shocked that we know what would happen. I'm just trying to, I want to get to the punchline.
What would happen?
What would happen? Well,
I don't know how much
he would eat you.
He would eat me.
He's a heavyweight.
He's a heavyweight, he's a very short heavyweight. But I don't know, you're a professional boxer.
No, what are you going to do to poor Kugan?
If I was in a position where I had to defend myself...
In or out the ring? Let's not be in the ring. In the ring.
Obviously.
In the ring or outside the ring?
In the ring, that wouldn't go past one round in my opinion.
Alright, we don't know that, alright. But But outside the ring.
If I had to defend myself as a man, then obviously Kugan would be What's
Dispatch.
horizontal? Yeah, vertical.
But he can lift you up though. He can lift you up, and like wouldn't make no difference.
He'll have to come near me to lift me up, wouldn't he?
That's true.
Walk on top.
Sorry, King. I might defend your honor, I don't know. Penny and cookies on
You know what? This is a tricky one. This is a tricky one. Do you know what I mean? As obviously he's got the ring card, but I'm saying outside the ring, that could be a bit tricky. I don't know. I don't know. One way or the other. How do you see it outside the ring? Him
Do you know what? Like I said, he's a small guy. Obviously, he's probably a good boxer.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's a good boxer.
He can
He's
punch.
world title.
Yeah.
He probably, you know, like he'd be too fast for Kugan. Kugan might punch. He might slip, go to the body. Kugan's folded up.
Bam, bam, bam.
And all that. But on the other hand, Kugan now is a big guy, and he might just run at you and belly flop you and hold you and take you to the ground and just ground and pound you. I don't know. Just depends how good his floor game is.
That's what I'm saying. He might come with some MMA shit, bruv. He might come with some wrestling shit. He might try and wrestle you,
He
bro.
might actually have some Sri Lankan karate skill. As Dylan alludes to. I don't know. Oh shit, sorry guys.
Oh man,
crazy.
yeah, but you know what, man? I mean, but it is funny, man. It is funny. But so how's it between you and Kugan now?
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, are you on talking terms now?
Yeah, you rang me after that went up.
So you talked. So after the fight, you spoke to each other after the fight.
Not after the IBO world title. Everyone wants to speak to winners, don't they? I didn't win.
Was he there?
No, he weren't there. He weren't there.
He weren't there. Oh, okay. So basically, how is it between the, everything cool between you? Or
Cool.
is it when you see each other? Is it going to go off again?
For his safety, you don't want it to go.
It's a 50-50. It's a 50-50. Is it like you know what I mean? Have you put out the peace branch, the olive branch to try and make peace with him or nothing?
No, we're just cool. Like.
But you're both in the boxing world. You're both going to bump into each other again. You need to ascertain what's going to go on, man. Is it going to go off in the car park? Is it going to go off in the press conference? Is it going to go off? What's going to go on, man? You might bump into him, man.
I feel very confident in being able to defend myself against Kugan.
Yeah.
I don't need to worry about that. Like, I don't need to...
Fair enough. Oh, okay. So that's that then, man. So that's that. Obviously, the beef hasn't been settled. It hasn't been settled. I mean, I see Kugan the other day at the fight, and he seemed pretty calm and stuff, and you seem pretty calm. So you know, I mean, it's one of the things. The beef's still ongoing.
It's not going.
It hasn't been squashed. Till next time.
It's like him, he wants it to go.
No. I'm not shitstorming. I'm not instigating nothing. I'm trying to be a peacemaker here. I'm trying to squash it, if anything. And sometimes things like this is the best way to do it, is to try and squash it. Do you know what I mean? Have you got a message for Kugan?
Yeah, hope he's alright. Hope he's cool.
See, there you go. Look, there we go. Look, man, we're doing some good today. It's all good, man. Look, we're squashing beefs, man. This Double D podcast. You know what I mean? We're squashing beefs. That's that, man. You know, I don't like beefs. No one likes that, man. You know what I mean? You want to go to someone and be relaxed. You don't want to look over your shoulder. No one likes that shit, man. So that's that. Right? Yeah. We squashed the Kugan. He squashed the beef. He's got no problem with you. Oh, likewise. Sorted, yeah.
Yep.
Pop with you. There you go. So I'm going to round this off with the Dillian Whyte fight. That was a tough fight, man. That was a tough fight, man. Wow. You know what I mean? He took the knee. He got that guy, man. He was like, wow. That guy was really tough, man. And then they was both trying to get the centre of the ring. And I was there, man. That was really a really tough fight for Dillian. You know what I mean? At that level, they're all tough. You don't get to a world level and expect to have like a walk around with someone.
Yeah, except for Tyson Fury and Swartz, mind you, but hey.
The guy was 26-0, was he?
Yeah.
You don't get to 26-0 if you can't fight.
Yeah, man.
You don't get to have a in the final. Was that the final elimination?
That was the interim for the world interim title to be mandatory for the WBC. But you know, like, I echo what you're saying. You don't get to that level, and they're not going to be all hard. For me, Tyson Fury is world level. Tom Swartz just shouldn't have been in the ring with Tyson Fury. I know he was undefeated, but he was not on that level to be in the ring with Tyson Fury.
Do you think that Tom Swartz was world level?
What's happening with Tyson Fury and?
I think Tyson Fury might be fighting Miller or Brian. I believe. I don't know. I heard
Miller got a ban or?
No, don't worry. It's America, man. They're back in 6 months. But let's go back to the fight night. Fight night, great fight. My bro Dillian got a good win. But what we got to appreciate is how he controlled distance, mid-range, long range.
Yeah.
People got to understand how good his boxing ability is and appreciate, because if you understand boxing, you'd understand long range, mid range, and in the middle of the fight, listen, what he was doing to this guy who is a former Olympian, had over 110 amateur fights, beat the likes of Pulev and Andrew Ruiz and many other countless top guys. Dillian has only had 7 amateur fights as an amateur. In boxing, there were even Stevens, and what he went out there and done, a world title fight. So what happens is, you don't go head on into battle with a man this is his world title fight. So what you don't do is, you don't go and say, let me stand in the middle and trade with him. But what Dill done was jabbed his head off, and at times he used mid-range and got into the body, and then when the opportunity was right, he stepped up the pace, and when it wasn't, he eased back off to a bit more of a longer range. But he was throwing stuff like triple jabs in the right hand, which you don't see in heavyweight boxing.
It's true.
You know, it's not because it's my bro. I like all boxers. Like I always say, Tyson Fury is probably one of the most gifted heavyweights.
No, you do say that. You do say that.
And anyone boxing, but what I just appreciate is someone who understands, and you know, the corkscrew uppercut, which, you know, the big uppercuts Rivas took some mean body shots, and then he dished out his own medicine, you know. He managed to catch him, got a flash knockdown, but Dill moved around the ring very smartly, held what he needed to, which you got to understand, you got to hold sometimes, you know, to recover, you know, get your senses, because the momentum's with the guy now. Once you give someone the momentum, they're going to come and let you go, their hands go, and he did, he came and brought the pressure on it, and Dill finished the round very, very strong, and in the 10th round he finished even strong. So, you know, all round, I think it was a wonderful performance, a very experienced, intelligent performance from someone who has continued to grow and blossom. And you know, it just makes me proud that my little bro, just from coming from where we come from where there was no fights, just him wanting to be a warrior, coming head first. I want to meet fire with fire. When you go back to the fight with Joshua and you look at where he was then and where he is now, it's just two different people, and he's so much smarter. So, you know, just congratulations to the team, the family, and everyone. We got a good win. Congratulate Richard Riakpo on a brilliant win against Chris Billion-Smith, because that was a big prospect he fought, and he done.
Wasn't he meant to fight Isaac Chamberlain?
You're nasty about what this guy. You know, this guy's nasty. Well, Isaac's obviously a friend of ours, and we're, you know, former teammate, a stablemate, but now obviously he's at another gym. Yeah, that fight was put to the table, and I think it just didn't materialise. It is what it is. I don't know.
Did you lot want it, or?
You know, they're friends. I think they both maybe declined. I can't recall, but it's a long time ago. But
did you catch Derek Chisora's fight on the weekend?
Yeah, I wanted him to lose, but again, I got to give credit to
Still coming out there! Still coming out!
You know what? Listen. I'm an advocate for our UK guys, and I always back them. But Derek gives me so much attitude. Yeah. Every time I see him, because of I cuss him up.
Could there be beef between you two?
No. Listen. Let me just quickly go. Stop this.
I saw a table fly one time.
Derek Chisora is an animal in the ring. I personally wouldn't want to fight him in a ring because I saw how hard to fight my bro having his animal. But what I'm saying is this: just the same as the fat guy, the melt, Shane Fury. These guys.
He's gonna fight Tyson Fury's brother, mate. Shane Fury.
Hold on. Let's wait. Let me finish talking about
Shane,
potentially. But listen, these guys have all got a longer established boxing experience than me. But what I mean is, I am a fighting person also. I've not got a bad jab, not a bad right hand. Once I throw them shots, I'm in touching range. Once I touch you, you're hitting the floor. I'm not gonna fight your fight anymore. And if it ain't a fight, your fight. If I'm here, I'm gonna elbow. Elbow. So what I mean is,
what Dean's saying is he would chief up Derek Chisora on road.
If we was out and we're fighting and we're talking about a fight where we're fighting, and I have got skills to fight. I mean, Muay Thai fighting is way harder than boxing. Boxing is a hard sport. Let's not pretend. You've got knees, you've got elbows. Wrestling and takedowns is something totally different. I used to do this a long time ago. I'm not the best at this, but what I know is I've watched Derek try to wrestle. I saw him on YouTube trying to wrestle. He's not on the level I am on in wrestling, how to move and how to, you know, whatever chokes I need to go into. But what I will say, he is a strong guy. He got an excellent knockout the other day. I got to give him credit because Spielka is at a great background. He fought some great people. He was actually beating Deontay Whyte, the world champion, until the 9th round where he got caught and got knocked out. And Derek Chisora went in there and dispatched him despicably. So credit to him. He's an animal, he's a warrior, and he's always been a warrior. So I wouldn't want to take no punches like that from him.
Would you fight Derek Chisora in the cage?
In a cage, he's an animal, but yeah, I think I'd have a couple of seconds. I've got to be careful because he swings for the rafters. But what I mean is, I think I'd have a good chance once if I can defend myself and get in, or you're going to walk into a big old overhook and go to sleep.
You could shoot in and try and take him down.
On the elbows.
It's a hard fight, you know what I mean? But like I said, these guys, what you got to appreciate is, let's not discredit them. And even though I might think that, yet again, they're a lot younger than me and they've got a lot more experience than me. So what I would say is, I've got to give them their credit and not be mugging them. Because like I said earlier in the interview, it's easier talking from outside. When you go in there, the bright lights, the adrenaline, the occasion can get to you. So it's all good for me saying that. But what I'm saying is, if I was out there and I was fighting, like you say, I know I'm capable of handling myself if it needed to come to a fight, and I know what I've got to do. You know, like when something's going down, you just think of it, you're on the spot, and you think, okay, what's going to happen? Boom, 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 shoot. You understand? Bosh. He's not going to expect that. You know what I mean by that? So obviously, in the occasions, dealing with press conferences, walking to the ring, he's got all that experience, all the momentum's with him. Just the same as Shane Fury. He's been boxing for 20 years. He said, I'm a fighting man, I fight you in the car park.
So you're fighting Shane Fury?
I don't know, we're going to talk about it, but what it is, he chats a bag of shit anyway. So here's what I'm saying, all it is, he said, I fight you in the car park, I fight you here, I'm a fighting man, I do this.
So where are you fighting him? Like,
I don't know, it's not Australian. I don't know what he talks, I don't care what he talks. What they need to talk is money talk, bro. That's what they need to talk about, money.
Money talk, financial gains.
MOT, money on the table.
I'm not gonna fight him for free.
Yeah, that's common sense, I agree with that,
Why am I gonna fight him for free? Don't make no sense.
I agree with that completely.
If we can make money out of this, it's definitely that. If I bucked him and it was some smoke talk, I 100% ain't backing down. Because you're just a boxer. Not being sorry to not discredit boxing. You're just a boxer. You're either gonna throw that, or you're gonna throw that. So, like I said, my instant reaction is to grab or punch back. And once I punch back or I hold, something's breaking, whatever I have. Your neck's gonna break, your arm's gonna break, whatever I get to bend.
So you saying that Shane's neck or arm's gonna break?
In a cage?
Whatever we fight, listen, like I said, they're potentially gonna offer some money. Let's see how the situation goes, but like I said,
I heard from the amateurs he used to have a secret move called the snake.
I know how to do with snakes.
It was a secret move called the snake. He used to box with Jimmy Egan's. The thing is this, that's all good. Like I've dealt with many snakes, I'm out on them pavements, I've been there, and I'm still here today. The learning curve on them streets is the hardest learning curve you can have. So I've been out there, I'm 41 in a second, don't look too bad if I say so myself. You understand? So what I'm saying is I've dealt with these snakes and I've done pretty good, I'm in a good position. So what I was saying is, listen, let's talk, make the money talk and the bullshit walk. I'm not really into too much bag of chatting and back and forward with him. So let's see if we can get the numbers right and we can get the attention with these people. Let's try and see what we're going to do, how we're going to drum up the attention for this fight. You're sweating quite a bit in this conversation. Like,
no, I've been sweating
from generating.
No, my friend. I did some boxing in there. I'm still sweating from the boxing. I'm an older cat, so maybe I don't know what's going on with the sweat. I want to go back in there. I'm raring, mate. I
thought that was my Indian heat making him sweat.
No, not at all. So but anyway, let me just go back to Chisora. Good win to you, congratulations. Sorry, sometimes maybe I'm a bell end or you're a bell end, but listen, congratulations to you, got a good win. You know, maybe we can get past all of this one day, but at this juncture, it's not that. But
have a cup of tea together?
No. No tea.
We can squash you and Kugan's beef, we can't squash that beef.
No, listen, I'm an easy guy. Listen, if someone wants to squash it and shake hands and say sorry, I don't mind moving forward. But I've seen him out a few times and he's done a bit of this old mean mugging stuff and wants to continue it. But listen, he's a fighting man. He's probably got a lot of aggression. He maybe was focused on his fight and he's thinking, you're not my friend anyway. I don't need to talk to you, which is true. So it is what it is.
I think it's more they got a rivalry with your brother.
Yeah.
Obviously, they both want to be top, and obviously you just come along with your brother. So obviously, naturally, he's gonna have to.
Yeah, and I'm always going to back my bro. So it's one of them. But listen, he has done exceptionally well for making a career out of losing. He's done exceptionally well. I'm not sorry.
It's bare harsh to say that.
Sorry, I'm not saying that.
It's a double D podcast. We don't pull punches.
So what it is he's lost. What's he lost? 12 times, is he?
Nine.
Is it 10 times?
10.
Nine.
So nine
Nine.
times. He's lost 9 times. My bad. But he's done. Listen, I was talking to someone about it. Actually, I was going to mention their name, but I won't. But I mean, he has done exceptionally well for losing so much times and making and generating the money he has. The fans love Chisora, yeah? And recently he's come up with some stellar wins. Takam,
Yeah.
Spilka.
Yeah.
Listen, he's been putting people to the rest.
How old is he?
33, 34, I believe.
34, I think.
He's young, bro.
I thought he was old.
Look at he looks now you want to give me credit, innit? Give me my fucking credit, B. Give me my credit. Look at me, shit. The guy looks like he's my grandpa.
He's 33.
Mate,
34,
anyway.
34.
But saying that, he's had a tough career and had some hard fights. Listen, when you talk about a man who's gone in there and fought Vitaly Klitschko and gave him a run for his money, fought a prime Helenas and probably beat him and got bumped.
Yeah.
Listen, Chisora, I'm not going to lie, I got to give him his
Didn't your
credit.
brother cheat up Helenas?
A cousin. Yeah, they had a good fight.
They still want to fight that.
Yeah, he didn't engage, and that's sometimes stars make fights. But I mean, he didn't want to engage. He gave Dill a hell of a fight in the first one, but I just felt the cleaner work was coming from Dill, the nice catch counters and some of the short chopping rights he was throwing. But he was on smoke in that fight. And he got me banned from the ring in that fight, and he got me banned from the ring in the second fight. He told him he's not fighting if I'm in the arena. That's what he told Eddie Hearn, Chisora.
So who escorted you?
Tado Tell.
Who
The
escorted?
British boxing board is going to fix me. And then Eddie was saying to him, come on, if Dill starts saying...
If you buy a ticket, you're allowed to come to the show,
No,
right?
if Dill starts saying, if my bro's not there, I won't fight, we're going to just be in disarray. So then in the end, the British boxing board said, hey, you do not to enter ring, you sit down. So I couldn't go into the ring, I was banned from the ring. So that's twice Chisora's done that to me. Round of applause again. But listen, hell of a fighter.
So when Derek Shaw and Dillian Whyte was having that face to face, and that, remember when they all kicked off in the through the glass and all that sort of stuff, and blah blah blah, and who's the donkey now?
Wow.
That's what he said. He said,
Yeah,
who's
I
the
remember
donkey now?
that.
But the thing, mate, you know when Derek Shaw said, he said, you and your wild dogs. Who's the wild dogs?
Maybe he was referring to me and I don't even know, but do you know what it is? What you got to appreciate is this. If he had a supportive family, a network of family,
Yeah.
maybe he would have the same feeling. But what I do is I've got my bros back. In that particular instant, I actually said to Chisora, listen, you're not fighting me. If you go back and look at the tape, I said, you're not fighting me.
You're fighting, brother.
You're fighting my bro. Concentrate and save your energy for Saturday because you're gonna need it. He's like, suck my nuts.
Wow.
And I was like, bitch ass buster, you a buster. That's what you are. You're a buster. Trust me, you're a buster. You just need to relax. And he just started to kick off, and then I said, when he went round the back, I thought, let me go and have a word. So as I've come round the back to confront him, he started whining, you wanna fight me? You wanna fight me? Threw down the board.
Was that when he threw the table? Or was that when he
No,
said
that was the
donkey
old
now?
one.
Oh, the
That took my
face.
last one. So he threw the board, and there was a bit of ruckus on Charles after.
okay.
So I said, I don't mind coming and paying you a visit, even at David Hayes. David Hayes is even better because that's local. You know, me and the lads will go down there and have a friendly word.
Friendly word, yeah.
You know, a friendly word.
To David Hayes Jr.
It's local.
With David in the gym.
What's David gonna do?
They can fight.
Right, on that note.
David's gonna do what?
I don't know. I'm just saying he can defend himself. He can,
Do what? You do what? David Hayes coming to do what?
I'm just saying he can defend. You come to his gym, he can
Whoa,
defend himself.
whoa.
Yes, he can.
Listen, on that note, I think we
The
should wrap
Double D podcast is wrapped up.
I think we should wrap up this podcast, yeah? It's a wrap. It's over.
Thanks to our guest,
Thank
Patel.
you.
He needs to sign Marcus.
Prince
Marcus
Patel,
Williams. You need to sign him.
thank you, special guest. And also thanks to the big
Thanks
league.
for having me, guys.
Always a
Thanks for
pleasure,
having me.
man. Double D podcast, yeah? We out of there. Link, share, and subscribe. Pep Talk UK. Double D podcast. We out. Boom.